Hey family, how are y'all doing tonight? I'm doing pretty good. We had a great day at work today. I work from home. I'm in a call center and it's a wonderful job. I really enjoy my job and I had a good day today. Usually Fridays and Mondays are horrendous. And Friday was great and today was even better. So I don't know what the rest of the week is like, or is going to be like, but I can tell you this, I enjoyed Friday and I enjoyed today. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the week. And what we're going to talk about tonight is a post that I wrote when Mom and Dad were living with me, as always. I wrote, I think, almost all of my posts that I have when they were living with me, and that was from '09 to 17. Mom passed, and then 2 years later, Dad and I sold the house. But '09, I was living for Leah. And so my posts mostly were done in 2011 or 12. And then a lot of them, the majority of them actually, was probably 2014. So I just want to share a very special one tonight with you. This was called, or is called, Broken Pieces, and it is a wonderful story. And sometimes I get kind of choked up, but that's okay. That's okay. So I will read some of it as I usually do, and then I will talk about what have just read. So this is a night when I was cooking dinner. It was my turn to cook dinner. Most of the nights were. Mother did cook. And I tell you, when she cooked, it was great, as always. But I was cooking Marie Callender's pot pies. Oh, we love pot pies. And, I'll just read a little bit of this. As I took one of them out of the box, the crust fell apart. And so, the crust was our favorite part. So I began to try to put the pieces back together as the best I could, and quickly realized that that was a futile attempt to get those pieces back on the crown, around the crust, around the outside, so the crust can get good and brown. So as I was trying to put the pieces back together, just before I was ready to put it in the oven, I heard the familiar voice saying, "Leah, you can never put it back together like it was, just like you can never put your heart or life back together yourself. That takes someone bigger than you, and that someone is me." I instantly stopped in my tracks and tears welled up in my eyes, and I began to cry in a little bit, but mostly it was happy and so glad that God had called me unto himself and was repairing my life. And believe you me, he was putting my life back together. You see, since I came back to the Lord in the last several years, I will say I was broken into a gazillion pieces. My life was just not the way it should be, the way I wanted it to be. Not that Mom and Dad were living with me, but I was living sinful life, and I thought it was just okay for now. Well, when God calls you to do something, it's not okay. You have to turn the other direction and walk towards Jesus instead of what you want in life. Isaiah 53:6, "All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned every one to his own way. And the Lord has laid on him," that is Jesus, "the iniquity of us all." God promised to heal me and put me back together, and he's doing just that. That is a daily, sometimes moment by moment process. And I know that probably all of y'all, or some of y'all at least, can relate to that. I wake up in the morning excited to know that I'm going to hear from God, speak to God, communicate with God, That is what prayer is communicating with the Father. So I'm looking forward to that every morning. He is an awesome God, and I know he loves me so much, and I know he loves you so much as well. He never gave up on me, and I'm so glad he didn't. I know that I'm a work in progress, and I will never consider myself as arrived, because until I see his face, will I be perfect. When we see his face, we will have our perfect bodies. Oh boy, thank goodness. But I am so happy that he is putting me back together. Is your life broken and in pieces? Or has it been broken and in pieces in the past? Do you know the one that can put those pieces back together? Romans 3:23 say, "For all we have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God." But if you know the one that can put your life and heart back together, he will do it. He promises he will. If you do not know him, Jesus that is, you're missing the most important relationship in your entire life. You just have to realize you can't put your life together as well as Jesus. He has a plan for your life, and he will help you be successful in that plan. But it can't be your plan. It has to be his plan. And that takes some humbling, believe me, I know. There are no coincidences in God's family, as you probably already know. This beautiful story about the woman at the well, I want to read that to you. It's worth listening to, and it's worth reading on your own. John 4:4-26. A woman of Samaria came to draw water. Jesus said to her, "Give me a drink," for his disciples had gone away into the city to buy food. The woman of Samaria said to him, "How is it that you, being a Jew, ask a drink from me, a Samaritan woman? For Jews have no dealings with Samaritans." Jesus answered and said to her, "If you knew the gift of God and who it is that says to you, 'Give me a drink,' you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water." The woman said to him, "Sir, you have nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. Where do you get that living water? Are you greater than our father Jacob, who gave us this well and drank from it himself, as well as his sons and livestock?" Jesus answered her and said, "Whoever drinks of this water will thirst again, but whoever drinks of the water that I shall give him will never thirst. But the water that I shall give him will become in him a fountain of water springing up into everlasting life." The woman said to him, "Sir, give me this water that I may not thirst, nor have to come here to draw water." Jesus said to her, "Go call your husband and come here." The woman answered and said, "I have no husband." Jesus said, "You have well said, you have no husband. For you have had 5 husbands, and the one whom you now have is not your husband. In that you spoke truly." The woman said, "Sir, I perceive that you are a prophet. Our fathers worshipped on this mountain, and you Jews say that in Jerusalem is the place where you ought to worship." And Jesus said, "Woman, believe me, this hour is coming when you will neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem worship the Father. You worship what you do not know. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. But the hour is coming and is now here when true worshipers of the Father, they will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father is seeking such to worship him. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and in truth." The woman said, "I know that Messiah is coming, who is called the Christ. When he comes, he will tell us all things." Jesus said to her, "I who speak with you am he." She probably fell over and almost down that well. She ran to the city and told people, "Oh my gosh, I've met a man that has told me everything I've ever done. Come and see, come and see." It would be well worth your time to read the rest of that story. It's a precious story. He loves you and wants you to know him intimately. He died for you and he rose for you and also wants to share eternity with you. Psalm 34:8 says, "The Lord is near to those who have a broken heart and saves such as have a contrite spirit." Contrite spirit is just another way to say a humble spirit. I want you to know how much he loves him, how much he loves you, and I know he can put your life back together. Even though it may be in a gazillion pieces, he can put it back together. Won't you reach out to him, call his name? He would love to hear from you. He calls you his beloved. Thank you, everyone. I hope that you were blessed by this reading. Y'all have a great evening or day, whichever you're reading this on or listening to this on. It's been a blessing. And please don't forget to click that subscribe button and so you won't miss another one. I'm going to try to do this weekly. Last night I had some technical difficulties, but we will work towards having them every Sunday, posted every Sunday. Thank you so much. God bless. Take care.